Good morning. We are, huh, how weird. The chat room is messed up. Here we go. There, it's working. Good morning from beautiful downtown Crestline in the San Bernardino Mountains of Southern California's Inland Empire, where it's cloudy and misty, not quite foggy. I call it that misty on this Thursday morning, uh, October 23 in the year of our Lord 2025. It was a quiet morning. Now I hear a rather loud car engine zooming around, what we used to call a muscle car. Uh, we're in the middle of a shutdown, or maybe near the end of it. The government, the federal government, is shut down. Excuse me. It's morning. I haven't quite woken up. I actually slept all night for a change instead of fitful sleeping for an hour or two and then waking up over and over. Anyway, I did my inhaler thing. You know, the inhaler. And it makes me cough. But that's a good thing. It gets out any gunk that shouldn't be there. Anyway, what the hiss? As my cats always say. What is going on? Okay, I guess a lot of things are not being funded, like food stamps. Not sure about welfare. I do know that Social Security is funded. It's mandatory. Nothing they can do to stop paying Social Security recipients. The military personnel got paid through some funds that they had on hand, but come 1st of November, you see, I guess they're paid every 2 weeks, because they're saying by the 1st of November there might not be any money to pay the troops. I'm looking at the cat. Let's see if we can get Sweetie on camera. Sort of. A black cat in the shadow. Such a sweet kitty. Sweetie, look at me. Look at the camera and we'll see your pretty eyes. She isn't going for it. Typical cat. I saw an ear move. I saw that little ear twitch. Sweetie. Okay. Okay for you. Anyway, quite a few government employees have been furloughed or fired or laid off. They like to call it laid off. See, if you're fired, it's usually for cause, like you did something wrong. Laid off means you're fired, but it isn't your fault. So we've got people who suddenly have no income, but it probably won't hit. That part probably won't hit for another month because when you're fired or laid off, you're paid whatever is already owed you. And some were told you will be fired in 60 days. At least they have some warning and a chance to put aside a little money to get by. Well, hi, Parmenides. Good to see you again. Welcome in. I don't know. So we've got all these issues with the shutdown. Apparently, the appeals court allowed the National Guard to go to some place. Was it Chicago or New York or somewhere else? Oh, Portland, Oregon. Um, oh, sweetie's. Let's see. This is 25. Yeah, she's 17 years old, and I don't think I'll have her much longer. She's really declining. Beautiful kitty cat. But she's old. I'm old too, but not as old as Sweetie is in cat years. Oh, such a good kitty. Anyway, yeah. So the shutdown goes on. And Schumer blames it on Trump, and Trump blames it on Schumer. And of course, the House Republicans blame it on the Senate Democrats. The Senate Democrats blame it on, let's see, the House Republicans for refusing to come back to D.C. and negotiate. And then the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, says, well, there's nothing to negotiate. It's just continuing the same spending. The only thing in was it continuing resolution, or is that what they call it? CR? The only thing in the bill the House passed that's new is extra security because we live in dangerous times. Very interesting times. Hey, evil phone, don't make noise, please. Do not disturb. Do not disturb, evil phone. When I was a child, we had to go to a payphone and put in a dime. It cost 10 cents to call home from the payphone at school. Sometimes we could get the office to let us use their phone for free to call mom for some reason, or dad. Now the phone goes with us, but darn thing will run out of battery when you need it most. So now you have to carry around a little portable charger in case your phone runs out of power. You thought a woman's purse was heavy before and full of stuff. Yeah, before cell phones. I hear a vehicle outside, but it was going the other way. Anyway, it's acting like the sky is acting like it wants to rain. Let's see, night before last, we got a smattering of rain for about half an hour and it quit. So I kind of think we are not going to have any forest fires, knock on wood. October is actually the peak of fire season here. Well, my little rural mountain community is prepared for people to have no food stamps. The churches and nonprofit organizations are stepping up, and in some cases that are that they know they have extreme need. For example, a single woman with 3 or 4 children, they're, you know, collecting food and a little money for those individuals. But in most cases, it's like one outfit is offering winter coats because of the cold weather, and some are new jackets and sweaters and coats, and some are donated, used but in good condition for people who need warm winter clothing. I already have the coat my family gave me last year, and I hardly ever wore it, so it's still in great condition. Uh, then there's the churches that give away food, and different churches do it on different days. And there's 2 food banks that I know of nearby. One is the, I think it's FDA. You know, we used to call it government cheese, but they almost never have cheese anymore. It's mostly, oh, there's some kind of vehicle out front. Looks like a, I don't know, it's just a work truck, but it has those flashing orange or yellow lights on top. Ah, how weird. I wonder if I should check it out. I don't know. It isn't a fire engine, so must be construction of some sort. I'm going to check it out, so hang in there. Don't go anywhere. Please, I'll be right back. Oh, all the cats see the door about to open, do they? Okay, let's see what they're up to. Okay, I'm back. Ooh, it's chilly out there. It's cold. Hi, Tora. Are you going to say hi to your adoring fans? Are you? Come on. Tora's the best kitty. Well, sweetie. Hi, you. It's just some guys about to do some tree work. Cat treats. Here you go, kitties. Tora, did you want your treats? Did you? She says, no, I want to see what's going on out there. We have lots of trees. They trim them or remove them when hazardous. Hooey! Ah, anyway, here's Tora getting her treats. No, she says, I didn't want this flavor. Where's the other ones? And Sweetie, well, can't see Sweetie. Ah, eat it or don't, Tora. Cats. Hooey, it's cold. Now the computer says it's 49 degrees. Let's see what the phone. I don't have an outdoor thermometer because it was destroyed in a windstorm. It fell off the wall of the house and it was glass, so it broke. Well, my phone says it's 51 degrees. Doesn't feel like it. It feels like about 40 out there, which is cold, 40 Fahrenheit. Um, I think that's about 4 centigrade or Celsius. We called it centigrade when I was growing up. And we pronounced kilometer, no, kilometer, the measure of distance, kilometer. And then when I was about 10 years old, they said, no, it's kilometer. So we had to learn to pronounce a kilometer for years and years. And now, oh, it's kilometer. And I'm like, will you guys make up your mind? I'm tired of having to learn the same word 3 times in my life. Because the scientists can't decide how it's really pronounced. Where the hiss are Freeman and Witta and Jason. I hope Jason's okay. Oh, wow. Where are all my loyal listeners who put in comments and give me topics they want to discuss? I'm kind of out of ideas because it's just too weird. Now, they say that many people will not get their food stamps, but here in California, you never know. They're supposed to send out a notice, an email or something, if you are not going to get food stamps because the government's out of money. And I don't rely completely on them anyway. I don't get that much. And frankly, I didn't ask for food stamps, also called SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, I think. But when I got Medicare, I needed Medi-Cal as a supplement to pay my, well, not all, but pay some of my co-payments if something's really expensive. And they gave me food stamps too. And that's not enough to sustain even one old lady for very long, but I'm learning to cook so it doesn't cost me as much. I'm selling things at a local consignment shop because I'm not up to doing a yard sale. I'm getting by. And I'm selling off my book collection. So here and there, I'm making it work. And I don't, I'm not going to freak out if food stamps are shut down. But some people on TikTok are threatening all kinds of violence and looting and shoplifting and so forth if they don't get their food stamps. In my community, the churches are saying, hey, people won't have their food stamps. What will we do for a family who can't feed their children or can't even feed themselves? And around here, these are mostly working people. They are not sitting on their butts. Oh, Parmenides got his copy of the Transmigration of Timothy Arthur. Well, he wants to know why they say it belongs to the Valis trilogy. Well, they should have asked me. They just wanted, after Phil died, his daughters wanted to issue a trilogy. And they had these 2 Valis books. Valis and, oh dear, what was the other one? I'm getting old. Okay. Let me see if the Divine Invasion. They did not have Radio Free Albemuth. They didn't even know it existed. So they just, well, here's an unpublished novel. We'll throw this one in because we want to have a trilogy. And then decades later, somebody looking into the special collections at the university found this manuscript that the girls, the daughters, had assumed without asking me, and they didn't ask my son because he was just short of 10 years old when his father died. Well, anyway, here's this manuscript, and we just assumed because the title on the page said Valis, that it was just another manuscript of the book that was already published. But someone, a real scholar who was looking through things said, hey, he wrote with a pen a new title, Radio Free Albemuth. Let's see if it really is the same book or a new one. And they found Radio Free Albemuth, which was actually the first Valis novel that Phil wrote. It's the one he wrote while we were still married and before he moved out and rented an apartment for he thought she was his girlfriend, and she refused to move in with him and dumped him basically. And there he was with an apartment full of our furniture that did not allow children, and we had a small child, and no girlfriend because it was all fantasy and he had believed it. But there he was with all kinds of bitter feelings. So he wrote a new Valis novel, and that's the one that got published. And he also wrote The Invasion, and I think it got published after he died. When he could have, scribbled a bunch of doodles and it would have been published because of the Blade Runner movie. Well, anyway, yeah, Valis is a very dark novel. He was very bitter. He thought he was forging a new life with a pretty young blonde woman, and he ended up alone and pretty much broke. He never had a ton of money until shortly before he died. But Radio Free Albemuth is the first Valis novel. The second one, the one that was published as Valis, is quite generally a result of his sort of friendship, anyway, hanging around with K.W. Jeter. And Mr. Jeter was, I don't like him, never did. he seems rather, it seems that he has rather loose morals and a very dark take on life and love and morals, ethics. It seems to me that he's in it for whatever he can get, no matter how he gets it. But one very striking part of Valis is that movie that they go to see, the characters in the book, and I think it's based on The Man Who Fell to Earth. I've never seen that movie, so I haven't looked into it, but it seems that at least fans of Phil's really find that movie is enlightening, and yeah, it is hard. Parmenides says sometimes it's hard for me to maintain a positive outlook. Me too. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've never seen the movie, and it's been so long since I read Valis that I can't really pin it down. But Evil Horizon. Ah, Evil Verizon. Evil. Unteleported Man was, I don't know where I was now because I'm not sure when I lost the connection, but it's back. So I'm at this cabin. I'm a teenager. I'm tired of doing mountain stuff like hiking. So I pick up this book that's in the cabin and I start reading The Unteleported Man, an ace double. The other side, two books in one, the other side was Mind Monsters. And I did not remember the names of the authors. I still don't remember the other one. But I thought Unteleported Man was a pretty good novel, but the Mind Monsters was not really worth my time, but I read it because I was bored. And then years later, I meet the author, and I didn't even know it till he got his things shipped down from Northern California, where they'd been in storage, and here was this book, The Unteleported Man. I also didn't know that he was the author of Roog. I had read a collection of stories at summer school on an afternoon when I was bored, and one of the stories was Roog, Phil's story of a dog who thinks that the trash collectors are aliens and they're stealing valuable trash from his humans. Oh, hi, Jorge. Welcome. Verizon is being mean and evil. Verizon is being mean and evil. It keeps cutting me off. I'm supposed to have 5G internet. Oh, man. Evil Verizon. Well, I'm waiting for Jorge's question. On this channel, we can go off topic because I don't really have a topic except what's going on now and what I remember about my husband, Philip K. Dick. I like to let the audience steer the conversation by posting in the chat room. I had an idea in my head. What was it? So anyway, before I met Phil, I had read The Unteleported Man and Rug. Didn't remember the author's name. I was a teenager and not into science fiction, but I did like Rug. And The Unteleported Man is an underrated novel. It's a really good one. Ah, what a day. What a morning. Hi, Tora. I hope you guys can hear me. So anyway, wow. I think oddly, oh, here we go. What do I think about Jehovah, Yahweh, Allah? Are they the same being? Enlil, etc. Well, Jehovah is just a way that some people pronounce Yahweh. Jewish people won't say the name of God. The letters that in the Hebrew language that say the name are Yod, He, Thav, He. But they'll say Adonai, the Lord, or that's Greek, by the way, or the Hebrew Hashem, the name. Allah, the spirit in the cave that spoke to Muhammad, I'm not buying it. I don't. The historic, around 600s or 700s AD, who spoke to Allah. I spoke to Muhammad. I just don't think Muhammad was on the up and up, but that's a matter of history, not religion. Now, Enlil and all that, they are deities, but they aren't God. They're little g gods. I've done a deep dive into that, but it's been a few years. I've moved on to other studies. Now, I have no problem with the Muslim people I know. Good people. They believe in God. Okay. I know atheists too. They don't believe in anything spiritual. As far as people go, I look at the individual people and decide whether I want to hang out with them. But I don't judge them because it's God. God is the judge. I am not. I had Phil pointed out to me, because I didn't understand it at the time. He told me I had to read Frank Herbert's novel Dune. Huge, like 1,000 pages. So I did, but I didn't understand. And Phil said, well, the culture there on that planet, and I've forgotten the names of the characters and the places, but out in the desert, there's these people who hunt the sandworms, and they don't live in the cities, and they're kind of revolutionary. He says, well, that's all based on Islam. And looking back, it kind of clicks. I didn't know enough to understand. Yes, well, the entities claim to be gods. So, of course, people saw the magic things they could do and said, oh, yeah, you're gods. But there's a difference between little gods and the God, the creator. And there's various doctrines about exactly who or what God is. In Gnosticism, God doesn't have a personality. He isn't a person. He isn't even male or female. He's just a thing that made the other gods. And in most Gnostic, see, there's different. Gnosticism has kind of variegated. It's turned into a bunch of different theologies and cosmologies, but most commonly, one of the little gods that God created had an unauthorized child, and that child, who was evil, created us. That's Gnosticism in a nutshell. Yeah, there were some good gods. Well, even in the Bible, you'll find that there's the angels who rebelled and those who were loyal, bad and good. Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, brought messages to people, told them what was going to happen and what they should do. That's a good one. And in the Hebrew text of the Old Testament or Jewish Bible, often calls these angels sons of God. As I learned from Michael Heiser and Michael S. Heiser, there's actually another Michael Heiser, other experts, some preachers, some not. The word angel just means messenger. It's a job that the angels can do, but they're not just messengers. They're more than that. Oh, the good lizards from V. I miss that show. I used to watch V. Yeah. Well, Jorge, you're kind of dipping your toes in the water about the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair and took them wives. Now, it really does not mean that there was any force involved, but that could have happened too. But in exchange for allowing the sons of God to marry human women and have children, they gave humans knowledge, and most of what they gave them was how to wage war and kill people. The God of the Bible does not like war, and yet he sends the Hebrews who left Egypt to return to the Holy Land. He sends them to wage war against certain people and not others. So these descendants of Jacob, Israel, the Israelites, are told, you're not going to touch these people. You can ask for safe passage, but you won't take anything from them. And if they say no, you can't have safe passage, you have to go around. They were primarily descendants of Lot, the survivor of Sodom and Gomorrah. Long story. Oh, David Icke says that, Jorge says, David Icke says that every Eastern practice in the West is New Age. Well, I wouldn't make a blanket statement, but I have seen a sort of cooperation between New Age and Eastern mysticism in the U.S. I kind of took on Phil's opinions of the New Age. He kind of despised them. I don't go quite that far, but people are dabbling in things they don't understand. David Icke says Shiva was a lizard. Oh, yeah, he showed photographs of Queen Elizabeth saying, see her eyes? She's really a lizard. I think he went off the edge with that one. But he thought that some people were really lizards from outer space or under the earth or something. Phil had this idea. It was similar, but not quite the same, that some people's brains just were not developed to a full mammal state of being, that they were more like a lizard brain. The people who look at the things around them and say, well, can I eat it? Can I wear it? Can I use it? If not, I'll kill it. Or walk away. Mostly people who were on drugs. There was a huge heroin epidemic where he lived in the late 60s. And he thought that the drugs, whether it was meth or heroin, were turning these people into lizard brains. If it was a drug, they wanted it. If they could use it to get a drug, they wanted it. And that applied to people and pets, not just things. They just saw other people as a means to get more drugs. And it wasn't that they were bad people to begin with, but the drugs were evil. And there you get his novel, why am I blanking on that title? Where you have the drugs, Can D and Chew Z. Of course, can D is candy. Chew Z is chewing gum. When he was a child, and even when I was a child, parents considered chewing gum evil. It'll make your teeth crooked. And if you swallow it, it'll poison your stomach and stuff like that. What was that novel? The Three Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch. Thank you. I have such a wonderful chat room. And welcome in, Tim Greenglass. That was, yeah, I read it twice. It's an amazing novel. And of course, it introduces from one of his short stories, Perky Pat, who, of course, was based on the Barbie doll. His daughters loved the Barbie dolls. Wow. What a novel. And of course, stigmata are the marks on Jesus from being crucified. The crown of thorns, the nails through his hands, and so forth. Actually, the nails were through his wrists, but that's close to the hands. Wow. Throughout his life, Phil remained an Episcopalian, but he would not take communion. He had been barred from the rail, which means you can't have the wine and the little cracker of communion, because he had divorced Anne and married Nancy, and they wanted him to confess the sin of marrying Nancy when Anne was his wife in religious terms. And he said, no, I'm not going to, confess that it's a sin to be with my wife and the mother of my daughter, Isa. That would be an insult to my wife. So he was barred from the rail, and later down in Fullerton and Santa Ana, they told him, go ahead and take communion. We don't care. But he still would not do it. See, Episcopalians are almost Catholic light. They're the Church of England without the king or queen. And the Church of England is the Catholic Church without the Pope. So they have these very similar prayer books and customs and rules. Me, I'm a Baptist because I was baptized in a Baptist church, but I'm Baptist light. I'm not fundamentalist by any means. Oh, yeah. Phil had his own thoughts about trying to be like Christ. Jesus didn't say, do what I do. He said, follow me. We're supposed to follow Christ, not be Christ. We aren't good enough. We're all sinners. Every one of us, the best of people. Come on. For crying out loud. Here I'm in a long, complicated discussion, and Verizon shuts off